Welcome back. I am Anshu and you are watching Bottleneck. This is the Agenti AI CookBook series where we learn and implement design patterns for AI application. Now, in our previous videos, we had seen one of the foundational model that is context cascade. We also implemented it. If you missed on to that video, I will be sharing the link in the description. In this video, we are going to talk about adaptive routing pattern. All right. First, what are the limitations of prompt chaining? Prompt chaining follows a rigid linear workflow with limited adaptability. Errors in one step can propagate through the entire workflow. It lacks strong conditional logic for handling diverse inputs. Repeated prompts can increase token usage and operational cost. As the workflow grows, scalability and maintenance become more challenging. This is why modern agentic AI is moving towards adaptive and stateful orchestration pattern. Now, why dynamic routing? Dynamic routing enables adaptive control flow, allowing agents to choose the best execution path based on the current context and task requirements. It improves response quality, evaluating intermediate outputs, and dynamically selecting the next appropriate action or the agent. Dynamic routing helps prevent error propagation by detecting failure early. It is mostly the functional error or the business logic that we are going to incorporate and redirecting the flow to the fallback step, validation, or human review. It supports conditional branching where different workflows are triggered depending on user intent, data, or system state. It efficiently handles diverse, unpredictable inputs, making AI application more flexible and reliable in real-world scenarios. Dynamic routing also optimizes cost performance scalability by using the right model, tool, or workflow only when needed. Let's do a side-by-side comparison for prompt chaining versus routing. Aspect execution flow. Prompt chaining is fixed. We had seen that in our previous example, whereas routing is adaptive. That we are going to see. Error handling, we can do try and accept for any non-functional errors, but when it comes to a functional bug, prompt chaining has none. Whereas in routing, we will handle them gracefully. Branching is not possible with prompt chaining, it is sequential, whereas in routing, yes. Scalability, once your workflow grows, then it becomes difficult to scale with prompt chaining, whereas with routing, we can add as many routes as possible. Context awareness is limited, whereas the production readiness is very basic for prompt chaining, whereas when it goes for routing, the context awareness is strong and production readiness is also very advanced. Now, what is the adaptive routing? Adaptive routing in agentic AI is a dynamic way to handle user inputs or user requests. A user submits a query, okay? A router analyzes the intent and the context. Based on that, it intelligently directs the request to the most relevant task or the agent. The selected task processes the request. Finally, the system returns a consolidated output to the user. The key idea is simple. The system adapts its path in real time instead of following a fixed workflow like we saw in the context cascade. Now, what are the routing techniques? At the heart of routing pattern, a decision mechanism that evaluates a request and directs it along the right path. This can be implemented in several ways. The first is LLM based routing. The model analyzes the input and outputs a category or instruction that determines the next step. Embedded routing or embedding based routing. The input is converted into vector and matched with similar routes based on meaning, enabling semantic understanding. Finally, rule based. In rule-based routing, predefined logic like keywords or pattern is used for fast and deterministic decisions. ML-based routing. A trained classifier making routing decisions like logistic regression based on the labeled data, offering a specialized and efficient approach. Routing can happen at different stages at the beginning to classify the request or during the execution to guide the next step. Overall, this pattern enables system to move beyond rigid workflows and become more adaptive, intelligently responding to a wide range of inputs. All right, we are going to see all these techniques in action, and that wraps up the our overview of adaptive routing techniques or dynamic adaptive routing in Agentic AI. I hope this gave a clear understanding of how intelligent system can adapt and choose the best path in real time. In the next video, we will take this further with hands-on implementation so you can see that in action. So stay tuned. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more deep dive into AI architecture and design patterns. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.